Hey Hugo Reed, for our nonfiction this week, we have Pumpkin Circle, The Story of a Garden. I thought that was a great book for October. We're starting to think about pumpkins. Pumpkin Circle. Look at all the pumpkin seeds that are around it. Whoa, that's like a mountain of pumpkins. Look, here's a little girl. Look how huge that is. It almost looked like oranges because there's just so many of them. The pumpkin seed makes the pumpkin plant. The pumpkin plant makes pumpkins. Ooh, look at the inside. You can see it's really magnified. That's pretty cool. See the seeds? So if you cut open a pumpkin, that's what you get to see inside. Deep within each pumpkin, the air is damp and cool. The walls are lined with teardrop seeds, each one a slippery jewel. Scrape them from their orange cave, wash away the squishy mush, save a few to grow next spring, and have a few to munch. They're clearing it out, and they saved some and washed them off, and then you can toast them in the oven and put some salt on them, and they're yummy. So they said they were teardrop seeds. They are kind of shaped like a teardrop, aren't they? When the earth is soft and warm, plant those sleeping seeds. In about 1 week, out they peek, 2 fresh, young, fat green leaves. So when they first come out, this is very magnified, but they come out as little. That's what they look like. That's the shape of the pumpkin plant. This garden will be home to many pumpkin cousins. 1 big pumpkin family, 5 varieties. Each one started from different pumpkin seeds. So look, the seeds look different when they're a different variety. And over here it says Spooky, Max and Lumina, Legrand and Tiny, Munchkin. So there's the 5 different types that are growing there. There's some of their leaves look a little bit different, not very much. This really shows you how they're teardrop shaped, doesn't it? Every passing moment awakens each new plant, reaching down with silky roots, reaching up to dance. So this is an awesome picture because it's like cut away and it shows you how the roots look in there. That's really cool. So this one shows you what's below the ground, and this one is showing us what's above the ground, isn't it? Week by week, the backyard patch spreads before your eyes, filling every inch of space with leaves and roots and vines. So look, first we saw those just tiny plants. Then it looks like this. Then it looks like that. Look how it's starting to fill in all the area. And then look at that one. It's like covered the whole thing. And it's growing up in the fence too. So pumpkin plants take a lot of space. They really spread out when they grow. Huge green leaves grow towards the sky, prickly, lush, and wide. They soak up sun and water and make a shady place to hide. What do you think could hide under a pumpkin leaf like that in the garden? Lots of things. Little lizards, maybe even mice, insects like spiders and grasshoppers. Probably think of how many things live in a garden that big with all those plants. Lots of stuff. Ooh, look at those. Twisty tendrils grasp like hands stretching out to cling. They roll down into fancy curls and wind up just like springs. So these grow out, and that's partly how they spread out and how they climb. Those attach to something and then the plant moves a little bit. It makes the next part that's growing be able to go further and further. Those are called tendrils. Those little springy curls. Sometimes you have in your hair a little curl like that. That's called a tendril too. A tendril. Did I miss a page? Yes, I did. Then silently as angels, flowers' buds appear with pointy little collars and gleaming silver hair. So like all fruit, they start out as a flower. And then the fruit, which in this case would be a pumpkin, it's getting bigger and bigger. It's just tiny there. And this picture shows you how they have like little silvery hair on them. If you touch them, sometimes as they get older, they're a little pokey, that hair. Velvet petals open, brilliant sunlit bowls, delicately fragrant, a sign of pumpkin gold. There's a picture that's magnified of their blossom, and look, you can even see those little hairs on the blossom too. Along come the bees floating through the air, buzzing, gathering, guzzling, zooming everywhere. What do you think the bee is guzzling? I think it's guzzling nectar out of the flower. It's way deep inside the flower in that one. Can you see the bee way down there? It's getting the pollen. Butterflies and spiders, grasshoppers and snails explore the pumpkin garden as they travel private trails. Look at that picture of the leaf. You can really see all the veins. They just go everywhere, don't they? And there's, I guess that's a grasshopper. It almost looks bluish. I don't think of them as being bluish, but the rest of its body looks like a grasshopper to me. 100 days of weather, 100 days of care. Pumpkins climbing up the fence, pumpkins everywhere. Look over here, it has a little sign that says Lumina. Remember, that was one of the types of pumpkins that they were growing. So it sounds like from this it takes about 100 days or 3 months or so for a pumpkin to grow from a little plant into a real pumpkin. Help these pumpkins sit up straight so they grow up round and proud. Scratch on pumpkin names so they stand out in the crowd. Or just sit back, enjoy the view. Pumpkins grow because pumpkins know exactly what to do. So look at this one. The pumpkin is still small and they're taking a nail and lightly scratching it. It looks like he's writing the word pumpkin on there. And then as that pumpkin grows, those letters get bigger too. So you could scratch like a message on it, and it would grow and show. When it gets bigger, I think it'll be like brown, like a scab sort of on the pumpkin. You get it look sort of like that color. That's not anything anyone scratched. That just is natural. But that's sort of, if you scratched it, it would look like that. When summer turns to fall, green turns into gold. Shorter days bring chilly nights, and pumpkin vines grow old. Now comes the harvest. Pluck the treasures from the vine, clear away the lifeless leaves, hide the rags of time. So harvest is when you're picking something. If you're harvesting, you're picking it. So look how they're starting to turn the color that we want pumpkins, right? We want them to be orange. And then after it's time that they're picking the pumpkins, see how the leaves of the vines look dead? They don't need them anymore, so they start to die. So this person is harvesting the pumpkins and then clearing out the vines and probably throwing all those away. Gather up the finished fruit, ripe and fully grown. Tidy up the garden, make a cozy pumpkin home. Salute the pumpkin circle, make way for pumpkin cheer. Behold the pumpkin miracle, we are pumpkin millionaires. That is a big pumpkin, or else that person has little hands. I'm not sure which. They have a whole basket full of pumpkins. You see that? Oh, look, there's a full moon. Make up pumpkin faces, add bright candlelight. Set them on your doorstep, let them flicker through the night. Ooh, they made lots of kind of mean-looking teeth on that one, didn't they? You put a pumpkin or a candle inside it and it glows. Now, this page is showing us what's happening to the pumpkin as it gets older. So it says, then every day the pumpkins change. Getting older, getting strange. Sinking, shrinking pumpkin. Back to earth you go. Turning into muck and dirt, a place for seeds to grow. So it's rotting, isn't it? And then when it goes back into the ground, that makes the soil rich, and so it's a good place for the next seeds to grow. Do you think all these seeds, look how they made the teeth and the eyes and the nose, they put seeds in there, that's pretty funny. I bet those seeds would grow again. How How did this begin? What is this pumpkin thing? Is there a Mother Nature? Is there a pumpkin king? We can be sure of this. It's a pumpkin circle without end. It's pumpkin seeds to pumpkin seeds again. Remember, the name of it was the pumpkin circle. So it's like a big circle. It goes from seeds to pumpkins back to seeds. And that is the end of the book. So if you grow pumpkins, let me know. I always think it would be fun to do, but I have never grown them because they kind of take a lot of room. I hope you're having some good books at home, some good autumn and fall books. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.